So if you see that happening, and so what you were saying, Margie, it's okay to have a predominantly minority community with a majority white police force.
What I'm saying is,
and I'm talking about solutions to that problem.
Okay, I understand now.
About.
How would they solve that? So what they've said is that, I'm just speaking as a civil servant. So what they've said is like, if the passing rate of the test, you need 89 to get considered. Mm-hmm. And 4 black people take the test and 4 white people take the test. And we only need 8 police. No, I'm sorry, 4 cops. Right? So let's see. The top 2 scorers happen to be white. We take those 2 guys because their dads were policemen and they taught them the ways of police a long time ago. And the other 2 scorers, maybe they were white. And maybe the score number 6 and 7 was black. But they came in very high, right? So we should say, forget these other 2 white guys. We're going to get these 2 black guys for the sake of diversity. Because we have to have X number of black people on the force. See, this is sort of like this whole civil action, this action, where they're saying that it's a disparate impact. So here we have, black people.
So what is your solution, Margie?
I wouldn't mind. What those are called in some ways are quotas. It's affirmative action.
So what is
your solution? And I'm all for that, but I'm saying that you can't. You have to say that you're all for affirmative action. But the problem is, as somebody pointed out the other day, you got in because you're black.
I don't care.
Wait a minute.
I don't care.
Somebody will say,
okay, so what?
That's good. And then somebody will say, you got in because you're black. And somebody will say, that's bad. So either way, you're going to lose.
What about the other way? What about the other way? You got in because you're white.
That's right.
What about that way?
Yeah.
You know what? Get me because I'm black.
I know. Hey, listen with you. I'm all with you for that.
Get
but
me
many people will say, people say
that
is reverse racism. And now in schools like Harvard, I think you read that article, where they're trying to prevent making sure that there's a certain number of black people, a quota, for lack of better words, a certain number of people in order to have that diversity. Some Asians are suing us because we got higher grades than them. We should get it.
Yeah, but you see, it's for years of discrimination that you're trying to correct. Years of discrimination.
That's the purpose.
And all you're trying to do is to correct. You got to find some way to do it.
That's right.
And if for these years of discrimination, you know what? It's been years. It's been years upon years.
Decades, centuries.
So you know what? We listen, you are not trying to discriminate against anyone. You're just trying to make sure that this killing.
Overall, in the long run, I think it would be better. Because if you let those black people win, even though they got 2 points lower, right? If they did. And especially when they didn't, they should always be picked over somebody white. That's one thing I know.
But you know what? You wouldn't know.
But you know what? They should always be, even if when they do better than white people, they should always be picked first. Okay? But that doesn't happen. We know that doesn't happen.
Sometimes they do better and they're still not picked.
That's right. That's right. Sometimes they do better and they're still not.
Because you don't know. I can tell you scored an 82 and the other guy scored an 85. Mm-hmm. You don't know. If my dad is the chief, listen, my son scored an 88.
He gets some, extra points for that. But the whole idea of a merit system.
So what is the solution?
The affirmative action thing would not be wrong if people stop attacking it and seeing it's something wrong. Because once you lift 1 or 2 or 3 families out of 10 out of poverty, then that's generations to come after that. But it has to start with someone, and it's from generations of discrimination, as you said. So that's one solution, the diversity. What's your other solution now? So you were going to have affirmative action?
No. I'm not calling it affirmative action.
That's what it is.
I'm calling it diversity.
Okay, call it diversity if you want.
I'm calling it what they call it.
No, they call it affirmative action. They call it reverse discrimination. That's what they call it.
They call it diversity when they want to use it positively for themselves.
Okay. And
when it's against them, it's affirmative action
or reverse discrimination.
Or however you want to call it.
That's what they call it.
You want to call it. However you call it. All right. So to me, that is one of the main ways you could. And stop saying, please, people, stop saying that black people don't want to be cops.
I don't think they do.
Huh?
I don't think so. I mean, I could look it up.
Well,
I
that's
think
what I'm
that's
saying.
all I can do. But
Even though statistics are skewed sometimes, I think if we're gonna, you know what, it's funny. We talked about black and black crime, and we talk about white and white crime, right?
Right.
You never hear the media talk about white and white crime.
Once in a while in a spoof, but yes.
But how often do you hear them talk about crime?
You know what? I was reading another article today that was talking about how many blacks are getting killed by the police. And then one comment says, well, what about the number of blacks that kill each other? But that's not the point, because the police are
But they always use that.
I know, but
it's
you know
just
what? When it came to me
thing.
today, the police. It's true. It's not. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the authority that's here to protect us is killing us. That's what the discussion is. It's not about how many of us are killing each other. Discussion is the authority that's supposed to be for all of us, but we don't trust them. But so they're not really our police. They're police for the other people. We don't have our own police.
Well, they're killing you to try to protect you from keep you away from the other people.
I don't think so. They wouldn't give a damn about it. They're not killing me to protect me from other black people.
No, not other black people trying to protect white people from you.
Well, yeah.
That's what it is.
In the long run.
That's what it.
Or the short run.
That's what it appears to be. But you know what? I think. I mean, all of the stuff that we are talking about is in the news.
Right.
We're not making this stuff up. Because some people come and say, "Oh, Marjorie and Anselm, what are you talking about? This stuff." But this is real. This is not made up stuff. This stuff is actually real. The statistics are all real. It's absolutely real.
Oh, who would say we're making up something? Else?
Yeah, because sometimes people say, I hear a person made a statement once because somebody was saying something. Not because I'm pro-black means I'm anti-white.
That because you are?
No, not because I'm pro-black means I'm anti-white.
Not because you are means that
yeah, because people think because if you want kids of color to be, you don't want kids of color to be all in the lower levels. You want kids of color to be in AP. You want kids of color to be in honor classes. They may think that, well, he's anti-white.
Oh, okay. No.
And some people look at it like that. And it has, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not anti-Indian. I'm not. It's just that now in Trinidad and Tobago, they control everything or most of the things. So if I'm pro, I'm not an Afro-Trinidadian. They call us Afro-Trinidadians now.
What's wrong? You don't want to be hyphenated like
no, I don't. Afro-Trinidadian.
You're Afro-Trinidadian American.
I'm an African American, and when I go to Trinidadian, I dropped my ICANS. I'm now just the AFRO Trinbagonians. Think about it. I'm Afro-Trini boy. Funny as hell.
When did that come up? Well, I think.
Oh yeah, they call you Afro-Trinidadian and an Indo-Trinidadian because they wanted to separate the races. You see, when they want to separate you, they know what to do. They label you, man, and for black people, it always starts with an A.
Oh God!
It's always an A.
That's because we're first.
After they drop the N, it goes to the A. And now they add on a T to it. They drop the A now, they go to T. And they just put hug next to it. they put hug next to it. So what else do we got, Marjorie? What else do we got?
Well, you got the answer, so hire more black policemen. Is that really going to be the answer, Anselm?
Yeah, it's going to be the answer. Let me ask this question. When is the last time
I saw a black policeman?
A black policeman killed another black...
A black kid?
Yeah.
I saw somebody getting there behind whooped on Facebook. I'll put that post out of your former student.
A black officer killed a white person.
That would be something to investigate. Have black officers ever killed white?
In the way that black officers killed.
Have black officers killed anyone?
The way that white officers kill black youths. Or black males.
Let's see what comes up here. Have black officers. We can't even. Nothing's coming up so far.
Well,
killed. Killed.
Search wide and far.
white. Let's see. Somebody must have asked it. Critics see the double standard.
Now let's take a listen to this audio. What's this audio?
Today, a federal judge called the NYPD's policy of stop, question, and frisk unconstitutional. The judge says the city adopted a policy of indirect racial profiling. Those who are routinely subjected to stops are overwhelmingly people of color, and they are justifiably troubled to be singled out. Statistics presented in court showed that between 2004 and 2012, there were 4.43 million stops. 52% were black suspects, 31% were Hispanic.
Throwing out stop and frisk would be madness. Just look at Chicago. The violence there could be stopped by flooding the zone with police on literally every corner of dangerous neighborhoods.
The judge substitutes her own view of the world, her own utopian view of how the world should be for the way the real life is for the people who are trying to get by, not get killed, not get robbed, not get raped on the streets of New York.
The idea that we are forfeiting this progress out of political correctness, because that's what it's about. It's about, again, political correctness infecting areas of our culture that make it less safe.
If they suspect someone is up to criminal activity and is armed and dangerous, you bet I want them to go ahead and pat it down. It's not that intrusive.
The unintended consequence of a slowdown and stop and frisk could be death.
Oh, wait a minute. Who was this? Is that Bill O'Reilly?
What this judge said today, by the way, it was not that stop and frisk is unconstitutional at all. She actually said, I'm not calling for an end to stop and frisk.
I would suggest that people who don't have to experience stop and frisk find it very convenient and comfortable to say that it's no big deal.
We're not talking about throwing out stop and frisk. We need that. But we need to make sure that we do it in a way where we don't wind up losing that. Because if we don't straighten up our act as police, we're going to lose it, and then we're going to really have a problem. You want to go to jail?
For what? Shut your fucking mouth, kid. Well, I'm going to get arrested for. Shut your mouth. What am I getting arrested for? For being a fucking mutt. You know what? Also, that's a law, being a mutt?
What they're trying to do is establish a sense of order, because establishing a sense of order clearly diminishes the amount of crime that occurs.
The U.S. is in the midst of a huge demographic change, comparable to when the baby boom transformed our country in the late 20th century. In my book, Diversity Explosion, I write about how this time the demographic force is the growth of new minorities, especially Hispanics, Asians, and multiracial Americans. They will make a similar impact on the U.S., its society, economy, and politics. This minority growth is occurring just in time to counter the slow growth and aging of the nation's white population. Most of this increase isn't happening because of immigration. It's happening from the bottom up due to growth of U.S.-born minorities. This growth will revitalize our nation's youth and labor force and spread the melting pot to new parts of the country, facilitating minority assimilation at a time when the economy is increasingly globalized. Minorities, particularly Hispanics and Asians, are dispersing throughout the country. Minority populations aren't just growing from within, they're blending. Multiracial marriages in the middle of the last century were less than 1% of the population. Today they comprise nearly 10% of all marriages, and more than 15% of all new marriages are multiracial. These shifts have not only cultural implications, but political ones.
Perhaps.
One particularly salient example is that minorities overwhelmingly vote Democratic. This trend appears only to be increasing and will undoubtedly reshape politics in America. This diversity explosion will alter all aspects of society, politically, economically, and culturally. The United States is on the cusp of great change toward a new national demographic transformation in the 21st century.
No, we are back with you. Now, here is
It's the demographic transformation we were talking about. Good.
Yeah, so here is we got to at least play something fun. Here is Saturday Night Live talking about Bill Cosby. We're going to take a listen to this one. This is Saturday Night Live.
Hey, Bill Cosby, pull your damn pants up.
Michael Che addresses Bill Cosby's sexual abuse allegations on Weekend Update.
I've always wanted to say that.
We were unsure whether Saturday Night Live would address it, but 2 days before the episode, the Weekend Update co-anchor tweeted, "So we can have the Cosby Show no more, but Columbus Day and Thanksgiving is still cool? Maybe I shouldn't say this because I'm sure none of you can relate. but I heard about this Cosby thing years ago, and I still watch The Cosby Show.
Hopefully